that better?
I don't know yet.
Is that better?
Yeah, 100%. My name is Trevor. How do you do?
He's a hot connection. How about you?
Our lead guests are off the chain.
These shout-outs will be insane.
Alex and Dee, and also Crystal.
Fans lined up from here to Bristol.
Alex and Lauren, and also Claudia.
Guests with beauty from Sabadia.
Oriana, Kate, and Brian, too. Hotter than cyan.
Wait, ain't that blue?
My heart's so full. Yeah, it's fatal.
Season 4 so hot, we flipping tables.
Unleashing this hotness, I'm feeling grateful.
Let's get started.
Don't be shameful. The more cringe, the better. All right, let's connect together
And we feel all right.
All right. I'm so excited.
Tingly
I'm
all over.
I'm tingly.
Tingly.
I'm tingly. It's Hotness Unleasher. And I want to say welcome to Season 4, Episode 3 of the Hotness Unleasher Show, where we have Crystal Poenisch, I hope. You're okay.
Close enough.
No, it's not. I want to, like, will you please pronounce your
Poenisch.
name?
Ask before
Crystal
you said it?
Poenisch.
What the heck?
Poenisch. Perfect. Because I asked around, believe it or not. I did ask around.
Nobody
And there was
knows.
some debate. So it's clear now. So anybody listening, upticks people. So somebody tag in Mark Bliss, Alicia Bobian, Bronwyn Hudson, please. Poenisch, right? We got it?
Yeah.
But I don't think I quite have like the, okay.
It's
Poenisch.
just, it's phonetic. Everyone, I think, overthinks it because of all the letters.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're all in there. It's Poenisch.
Poenisch. Okay, perfect. Because some of the Polish last names, did you look at, like, that's like not, you're like, what? Okay. I want to be respectful, right? I really do. I want to.
Thank you. I appreciate
want to
that.
honor that. All right. So, again, welcome to the Hotness Unleasher Show. We are here to pay attention to other people or their work in an intentional way, right? So, what that means is, as I was talking to my new friends here, Crystal, Heather, and Jesse, and Elijah, of course, but he and I have already talked about this. So, that the Hotness Unleasher Show is here as an antidote to the stuffiness of LinkedIn, right? It's so like, oh, you can only do this, and you got to post once a day, and you got to do, there's all these rules, and you can't talk about certain stuff, and if you do politics, oh my gosh, the whole place is going to light on fire, and this is here to put the focus on other people who are really being awesome, right? So I can see the audience is taking a little time to warm up to us tonight, so we're gonna give them a minute to kind of roll in here. And I want to say thank you to Elijah for being such a magnificent producer. And if you are looking for podcast services, please connect with Elijah, running your podcast sidekick, and I'm doing everything I can to move as much business his way because he's awesome, easy to work with, professional, on the spot, on time, all the stuff you want in a podcast producer. So with that, all right. So we've got an agenda. All right. So we're gonna do this little intro thing. Everybody's gonna get a chance to talk about like what they're about, what's cooking. Okay. And then we're gonna go into the first round of Hotness Unleasher. So everybody will take turns announcing like who they've got and what's cool about them and all that. So anybody in the audience who hears that, I want you to tag them and make sure that that their notifications light up. Then I want to hear a little bit more from this group about kind of what you're excited about in 2025. I mean, we've started out, it's a little scary, right? There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's depending on your perspective. There's some. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna say that, but I want to hear like what are you looking forward to, right? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And I'll share some of my stuff too. So, because I am still excited about what's in store for my life and for the rest of the year. Then we're going to go to the second round of Hotness Unleashers, and then we'll be done. And we will be out of here on time or earlier, right? I mean, we're not going to stay here longer than an hour. And if we're done, we're done. So I do want to see some more folks in the audience. So if you've got friends or if you've know anybody, and you're it's not your turn to go, tag them in. Let's see them, invite them to come on over, because this is. We're about synchronous connection in a digital landscape. And, sometimes that's hard to pull off. And I want to see folks coming in here because, 9 times out of 10, we've got a nice little audience that comes in and says something. Look at that. We got Melanie Richards in the house. I love it. So Melanie was a guest last season 3, episode 5. And we were on a experimental platform, which totally tanked. So that was not good. And so we're going to redo her episode later this season. I think it's out in early May. So looking forward to that. So Melanie, thank you for being my first live commenter of the night. Hopefully some of my regulars will show up and we'll get some action in those comments. All right, so let's kick this thing off. So Crystal Poenisch, what's happening? Oh, Lauren Sermon. I love it. So Lauren disclosed on LinkedIn that she's not been feeling very good lately. So I want to just kind of give her a boost of get well soon. All right. And thank you for coming out. I know it's late in Florida for you. So, all right, back to you, Crystal. So introduce us, please, to you and tell us like what you're working on. And again, and then we have this founder motion theme, right? Because you're consulting for founders, right? And Heather, you're a founder and you get just approved. That's your deal now. And Jesse, I want you to kind of lay out like what you've done, what your founder motion is, because my founder motion is, it leaves a little bit to be desired. So I'm taking inspiration from you guys. All right. So Crystal, sorry, I'm focused on you. All right. So introduce us to you, please.
Well, I am a technical product marketer. I've gotten kind of my start and a bit of my following in cybersecurity product marketing. And lately, I have been building my kind of consulting agency, like you said, for founders, particularly those who need to simplify their storytelling and talk about technical products, and particularly at the phase when they need product market fit. So that's my job. I help them tell their story, pitch it, train their sales teams, and find the value of their product. So that's me.
Okay. All right. So one of the things, so I took a course, right? Maybe the same one, but we reference it a little differently in our LinkedIn profiles, because I was looking at yours from the Product Marketing Alliance, the core, right?
Yeah.
I did that, but they gave me a different certificate. So it might've been like I might've gotten the loser club certificate or something, but any case.
What year did you get your, I think it might be, I got mine like the first year they put it out, I think.
Okay. So mine's under education. Now it's not like under certificate. It's more like, so like a school, I guess. But anyway, I took the course. It was very cool. But the flex, right? Like I'm like on the inside product marketer kind of PMF kind of club is, obviously awesome. Right. So it's like, if you have a copy of that, like you're legit, and
yeah.
Mine's too far away to reach, but I should just keep it on my desk and I can just like flash it like, okay. And I read this, you can say PMF and I know what you mean. All right. So for those not in the house, describe to us, for the benefit of the audience, what were we talking about when PMF, what does that mean?
So product market fit, I think, is particularly when positioning comes into play, and it's like you referenced April Dunford's obviously awesome. That's one approach to get there. But PMF, product market fit, is both kind of bringing together your product with your market, right? And those are two different things, and it sounds super simple, but it really is kind of like a puzzle piece. And understanding what a product is, what you're actually selling, what those features are, and what's good about it. And then actually matching that up to the people who want to buy it, have the ability to buy it, understand it. That's what product market fit is.
Okay. Thank you for your take on that. So Elijah, early on, like a couple of months ago, we were talking about this because he's getting his podcast, business up and running. He's looking for new clients, and he was getting folks who were like calling, like, yeah, I want some of that. And I'm like, dude, you might have PMF, you might have product market fit, because if you've ever experienced really tight PMF, it's like the best feeling. It's like, there's nothing better. It's so good. Cause literally the phone, my favorite line in business is to aggressively sit by the phone. Right. You aggressively sit by the phone because it rings and you're just like, you're ready. Like you just take it and I mean, proverbially, right. So like, okay, you get an inbound and it's legit. They can probably buy. They like it. They know what they're calling about. You're ready to go. You have the product. You can fulfill on it. And it's like, it's rare. Right. Like Nvidia has it right now, that's like, okay. They got, like Apple, they sell iPhones. That's pretty good PMF. Right. So you have great big examples, but when it comes down to normal everyday businesses, it's you know, it's a little bit harder sometimes to you know, to know when you've had it. And I've had it a few times in my career, and then I have seen it actually go away too. That's breathtaking, particularly as a seller, right?
Yeah, I can imagine. It's been amazing just kind of getting to build my own business because I've experienced really tight and efficient product market fit quite a few times in my career, and kind of to the point where it's like a methodology for me now. I have a bit of a formula and a kit and all these templates to get people there. And I think just kind of doing the startup world for so long, you learn how to put the pieces together. And so I'm really you asked what we're looking forward to, and that's definitely a part of what I'm looking.
Okay. We're going to hold on to that. I'm going to say,
keeping it
we're going to get that after the first round of the Hotness Unleasher. So we're just going to take a breath. All right. So I want to say welcome to a couple more guests who have shown up. So Stephen Ng is here. So Stephen Ng was, I mentioned, the very, very first guest on the Hotness Unleasher Show. So the double O, triple OG, right there. The original. All right, Peter Wheeler, right, in the house. So Peter and it used to work at Okta back in the day, so maybe he knows Heather. Maybe there's a connection there. So Peter, welcome. Thanks for coming in. And Lisa Vivek is here as well, and Lisa will be on the show later this season down the line. So Lisa, welcome. Thanks for coming on in. Okay, to you, Heather. The baton is passed. So. Thank you for coming out tonight. It's a pleasure to get to meet you here in this context. And I want to just say, like, what's cooking in your world? Like, why'd you say yes to Crystal?
Well, Crystal and I have been actually talking about what she was just talking about quite a bit. Crystal and I have become good friends over the last year. Crystal's one of those people I met, and we can go a few months without chatting and, you know, pick it right back up and connect again, which is really rare because I know we talked about people we see and admire on LinkedIn, and Crystal and I actually met, you know, chatting through LinkedIn, and it's been amazing to build friendships with somebody who is, you know, inspires me and is very talented, but it also has a very different skill set than I do. And she invited me to come on here. I thought the idea for the show was interesting and unique, and figured why not?
Yeah,
Here
awesome. Well, thank you for coming out. All right, so I'm a big fan of digitally originated relationships, and it's something that is relatively new to me, right? In that I think that there were, this business stuff, you send a few emails or whatever, but really prior to social becoming a thing, and then social extending beyond Facebook, extending beyond, the confines of like my old high school friends and my family, right, and college friends, right. When it got into LinkedIn, it was like, oh boy, there's a whole world out here of people who I can connect with and talk to and understand and get to know in a whole new way that I didn't realize was available.
What's funny, I wasn't very active on social before this last year, which might surprise people who maybe had just started following any of my activity, because now I'm much more outspoken. And so the idea of meeting people, and like even just thinking, I've never met Crystal in person yet, and someday we are going to meet in person. We're going to go for drinks, and it's going to be crazy because we're going to have been friends for years or whatever, however long it is. And I think it's been, as you were just talking about that, it's like, wow, I hadn't even thought about that, but I've made multiple friends, relationships this last year that at some point I'm going to see these people in person, and it'll be weird because we'll already have relationships and know each other very well the first time we meet.
So what I can say, just to offer a perspective, because I have met a lot of people. I like to go to trade shows and stuff, and so there's a lot of folks who hang out. It's not weird at all. It's the most normal thing you've ever experienced. You just sit down like you were just hanging out yesterday or whatever. You just plop your books down or your bag or whatever, and you just have a drink, and the conversation continues. It's the least weird thing ever. I love it. So Peter Wheeler, for example, he and I met at RSA last year for the first time. We're great friends. We've been friends for a couple years, met for the first time, and just hung out like we were old chums, from the old days. So
that's awesome.
All right. So that I would like to hear about what your current project is, right? So tell us about Just Approved, or okay. Lay it out, please.
Just Approved, yeah.
What are you doing?
So I went through an experience of fighting discrimination internally, and realizing just how the early stages of that, there's a lot of evidence, a lot of incidents that you have to capture, a lot that you're trying to navigate, working with HR, communicating, going to leadership, trying to get help, and not a whole lot of resources in terms of how are you supposed to document? What are you supposed to do? Are you even sure that you're facing discrimination right now? Or is it possible? And I apologize. My dog has decided to just literally attack my feet as I you just kind of called me out.
No
To
sweat.
start doing.
All good.
So
It's
if
all
you
good.
see me moving around, that's why. She's just
Okay.
So we are just trying to help employees basically navigate that if they're in it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, with the current environment right now, we're seeing more of it, a lot of anti-DEI, but I think regardless of whether where you stand on that, it makes it uncomfortable for people to speak up if they're facing it, and maybe even more concerned about being doubted or facing gaslighting or being gaslit or whatnot. And so we're just trying to help people navigate what's already a difficult time, and have a lifeline out there so they know kind of what to do, what they should be doing, because too many people don't figure it out until it's too late.
Yeah. Wow. So you thought of this based on your own experience. And I'm very sorry that you had to deal with that, but good on you for I'm going to solve this problem and I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take it to the world. And it sounds, and you just got your app, right? Relatively recently.
We just recently got it approved on the App Store. It's funny because you're just talking about Apple, and I love my iPhone. I got all kinds of Apple products. Yeah. And I have never been quite as angry and frustrated with Apple as I have been in the last couple of weeks while we are trying to get it approved and get it into the App Store. So it is amazing to see it on there and have it live. But it's crazy. If you would have told me a year ago that we would have a mobile app, that I would be doing this, that I would start my own, I never envisioned this path for myself. But here we are.
Okay, well, congratulations. And I do want to say that you did say DEI, and so I'm actively actually looking up companies that have not rolled back their DEI policies, and am choosing to do business with them, and am excited to when I find them. And Apple's among them, right? So Apple said, "Nah, we're keeping it." Costco is another one. So Costco said, "We're keeping it." And my daughter, she runs the flower kiosk. At Costco, you go in there and they got the flowers and stuff. Mm-hmm. She that's her job. She runs that. So I'm like, okay, cool, because I like Costco, so I'm thrilled that
Costco's always been known for being good to their employees.
Yeah,
I always hear that.
And Domino's Pizza, believe it or not, is also on the list of not rolling back. And so my daughter's boyfriend was just hired there, and he's a young black man in my community, and they're like, yeah, we're doing this thing. So
I think it speaks to being a little bit more brave. I think there's a lot of leaders, and honestly leaders, but people that follow just kind of whatever the trend is, and if DEI is popular again next year, then suddenly they're going to be all about it. And I think it really makes me question the leadership skills of a lot of these people that are just flip-flopping with whatever, because how can you lead if you're just following everyone else all the time?
Yeah, I think there's some real lines that are being drawn, and consumers can have a lot of power, have a lot more power than they think they do, and Target is in trouble, right? They can't figure it out. To your point about this leadership thing, we're just gonna, they put it in, and then they lose half their people, and then they get sued by Florida, and then serves them right, and then they flip again, and now nobody's going to go shop there. So it's like, what? Okay, come on, guys. Anyway, this is not the point of the show.
We can make a difference. I feel like sometimes we think like we're just one person, but it adds up, and it all does make a difference. And taking a stand for something, you never know who else you're going to inspire.
Well, thank you for putting Justice Proof into the world. Thank you for fighting with the power, right? And coming out on the other side victorious. So congratulations there. And I'm glad to know it's out there. I don't know that I would have thought about it, right? It just wasn't. I'm glad to know now.
I wouldn't have thought about it either if I hadn't actually lived it. So I think, but we're seeing I posted today, we're seeing some competitors pop up. There's more people kind of getting into the space, I think, with what's going on. And I welcome it, because I think the more attention there is on the lack of information there is here for employees to kind of make it more fair, the better.
Terrific. Well, thank you. And thank you for coming out. And you must be just swamped with all the tasks of being a founder. And and all of that. So I want to unpack that a little bit more, but I want to also say welcome to Dean LeBay with the potato, and and Meg McGilver also as well. So Meg McGilver was a guest here, on the show last season. So thanks for coming out, you guys. It's terrific. It's really great when we gather an audience and we're all here together, just kind of, hanging out and trying to share the love, as it were. So I did want to say too that these emojis that we put on the end of our names are, to some of us, are really important. So I don't know what Meg's hammers are about. I don't know what that symbolizes, and I know Dean has explained the potato to me a couple times, but I use a rooster. And a rooster for me it's a symbol of hope and courage to come, right? And so it's a well sort of understood interpretation of that, because the rooster wakes up in the morning, gets everybody up, and he's on fire, right? So that's what that's for me, and it kind of keeps me present with that. So, in any case, Meg, if you want to throw down remind us what your hammers are all about, and Dean, the potato, remind me too. Put that in there. There you go, builder. Okay, great, love it. All right, so speaking of building, what a segue! It's almost like I set that up, but I didn't. All right, Jesse, welcome. Well, it's the first time we've met. First time we've had a chance to talk. So I know you've been busy. What's cooking in your world? Like, who are you? What you're about?
Yeah, so my name's Jesse. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm a software developer. I work full time for a startup here called 434 Media. But as far as my founding journey, I founded a community group called Dev San Antonio.
Okay.
And that just kind of led to my origin story. I mean, I converted to the tech space later in life. I always say I was flirting with 40, had a sweet gig, but before the pandemic hit, I was taking some introduction to programming courses at the community college. And once everything kind of shut down and went remote, I was too far in. So I decided to put in my 2-week notice I was working for a company in San Antonio called USAA on the insurance side, sales team. But put in my 2-week notice, took some money out of the 401k, and said I'm going all in on this journey to start this tech journey. But anywho, DevSA, its current iteration, we'll hit the 1-year mark in April. But we do monthly events. Our big mission statement is we focus on learning, networking, building authentic connections. The tech word is really broad in general. So locally, and you'll find it's going to be the theme here, a lot of localization, but the tech events that were happening before DevSA entered the space was a lot of marketing, a lot of sales driven. So you had a lot of working professionals, a lot of really sharp people like Crystal, who a lot of the big sentiment from a lot of folks was just like they just tuned it all out. You'd have companies that would promote an event as a Google Cloud event. You go to it, it's hosted by a sales guy. The talk becomes a sales deck, and that can only happen so many times where people just kind of say F that. So DevSA kind of came in really driven with our focus and our mission, and we've started off as a Discord server, just kind of grassroots, kind of starting conversations. We entered the meetup space, and that's just really where things grew for our community. We've been able to build relationships with some of the local universities here in San Antonio, where they've invited us to go on campus, an outside group, to give some tech talks. And I'm really excited to just continue this journey. But yeah, it's funny because the person that hired me, because I've only been in the tech space. I'll hit the 3-year mark in May. So I'm still very junior, novice. Yeah. Of course, a lot of the AI tooling that's out there kind of helps accelerate and iterate some of the things that I need to build. You're
doing it.
I'm doing it. And what's funny is the person that hired me was like, I know there's other folks that are more experienced and can probably run circles around it, but I'm picking you because you've built a community that has over 530 people. So if you get stuck, if you got a question, you got your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm guessing that your San Antonio connection has something to do with being invited by Crystal, who's also in San Antonio.
Yeah, I had what connected me to Crystal initially was, and it's funny you're talking LinkedIn, was LinkedIn. She's been a big advocate for promoting a lot of education, a lot of resources, and again, with our mission being focused on the tooling and the programming, the learning and the networking, it was an instant connection. And we had our last event of the year was in November, It was a big event called San Antonio Tech Day, and I actually had Crystal give a talk at the event. And I love telling the Crystal story. One, just a fan of her advocacy for just education resources and even just the lens of being in this tech space as a woman. I mean, there's just so many layers, so many layers that are in this space for Crystal. But the one story I love sharing about her giving a tech talk at our event was it was a Friday and it was a school day, and her daughter skipped school to come to the event and see her mom give a tech talk, and it was like the first time her daughter was able to see her like in that environment, talking cloud native, talking security. And I'm just like, this only happened because DevSA became a thing. It's just there's a lot of like little stories like this, like that are happening only because we're bringing like-minded people together and really just kind of seeing what happens when people connect.
Yeah, you have the real hybridization of the digital origination and then the local connection and then just building on that in real life. I love it. It's such a great story, Jesse. Okay. Thank you for coming out.
And I apologize in advance. I tend to be a yapper, so definitely.
No, it's all good.
The emoji people care for me are planes. Land a plane, Jesse. Land a plane.
You and Trevor can teach each other.
It's all good. Yeah, Elijah's constantly giving me little clues. He gets a tick.
I start twitching if we're getting close to time. Like
when I start talking too much. Okay. We have 3 more segments to get to in this show, and it's already we're already almost halfway there. Okay, so we're gonna start the second segment. All right, the first round of Hotness Unleashers. Okay, so you're ready. So anybody who's left in the audience still with us, and LinkedIn is showing 9 currently. I love it. All right, I also want to say shout out to Melissa Houston and Greg Meyer, who also live in Bellingham and who I know, and Melissa Houston particularly is a great connection. So just calling out, like, it's not just San Antonio where people connect in real life, because but first via LinkedIn. So awesome. I love the story. Whew, okay, take it down a notch. All right, so Crystal, we're going to have you go first. So Elijah, we're going to go into the Hotness Unleasher, and Elijah's going to cue us up. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right, let's cue up our first Hotness Unleasher of the night.
Go!
Dorota is an ambassador of kindness. She tests and tests and tests until those security walls fall down, simulating real-world attacks, conducting security assessments, doing audits, physical testing, all of the things that you need to discover in case somebody's trying to get through that Trojan back door. We don't want people to steal your secrets, and neither does this woman in red. Dorota, she's on the offense, not the defense, and she's got a podcast. She's here to tell you all the things you need to know so people don't steal all your cyber secrets.
Awesome. Okay, welcome, Dorota, to the Hotness Unleasher community. Crystal, expand, please. What can you tell us?
So I recently met Dorota. I've been following her on LinkedIn for a while. I met her through Bronwyn, of course, who is just connected to everyone on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But Dorota is a social engineer, and so she's basically a spy. Who could break into server rooms and pick locks. And you'll notice her picture is actually her with the lock pick. She just rebranded to the Woman in Red. Previously, she was like the Wonder Woman of cybersecurity. But she's incredible. I got to meet her in person in Denver a few weeks ago and hear her story in person. She actually lives in Poland, so she's Polish. And it's just an incredible person who has a large following. She recently started on Twitch as well. So she live streams. I know she was doing every Friday for a while. So she's just been a really amazing connection and cool person to meet.
Terrific. Awesome. The lock picking thing, I've gotten to do a couple of those. I went to Cyber Marketing Con in December. They had a lock picking happy hour thing. I mean, I wasn't very good at it. And then I did one at RSA, I don't know, a couple years back, and I wasn't particularly gifted either. So, not everybody can do it. It isn't just like you wake up and say, oh yeah, that's how it works. And the people who are hosting those things, they're always like, oh yeah, just put it in there. Can't you feel it? You can just feel it, right?
You're just supposed to feel the vibes.
Yeah, just vibe it. Just vibe it to open it. I'm like, no,
I can't. With the lock.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, Dorota, awesome. Okay, so I'm thrilled that you brought her in here. Does she get out to the RSAs and all that stuff, or is she
I think she'll start getting out. So she's just recently taken on, previously she was doing cybersecurity and worked really quickly her way through all of these certifications. It's really impressive. She had cancer and in that time got like 20 different cybersecurity certifications to keep herself busy. So I think she will start speaking more at these events because she is starting to be a thought leader in her space.
Yeah. Rad. Okay. Well, I'm going to be at RSA this year. Are you going, by the way? Did I ask? I don't think I've asked that.
Yeah, I am. I actually just got news that Diana Initiative gave me a free ticket to go to RSA. So I booked my flight. Got to find a place to stay in San Francisco still, but Airbnb. Well, Airbnb, it'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, I'll be sure to find you. I'll look you up because I'm going to be hanging around, just kind of trying to stay busy. So making as many friends as possible. You're on the list. All right. So can't wait for that. All right. So Dorota, welcome to the Hotness Unleasher community. You're here, all right? This is a place that it's loose and kind of easy. There's no locks to pick. Just ask or just reach out. It's all good. So, welcome, Dorota. All right, Elijah, do we have our next Hotness Unleasher of the night ready to go?
Yeah, we could pick one. That's fun, right?
Let's do it.
Sure. Ashwin calls himself a catalyst of humanness. And truthfully, he's on a mission to build genuine human interactions, connections with 90 seconds or less of your time to transform what's inside, moving out, bonding, amplifying, introspective, all in 90 seconds. Believe it. Hotness. Large orgs, medium-sized organizations, doing events, doing all the things to help you rediscover the power of human connection.
I love it. All right, let's expand out. What's up with Ashwin?
So I recommended Ashwin because he actually the first time I ever did anything that was like this, it wasn't a podcast or a live stream like this, but it was a 90-second interview like he does, and he convinced me to do it. And I just love the fact that he is spreading so much positivity. He gives you these bank of questions that really make you think before you go on. You don't know which ones he's going to ask you, so you kind of just read through them and think about it. But he's been a big advocate for me since I spoke out. Every once in a while, he'll kind of like shout me out or whatnot, and I just love his positive energy every time he's communicating, posting, and he just recently got up to 10,000 users, which is amazing. And so it's been great to watch him grow the community and spread positivity, which is really, what he does.
I love it. Okay. So, all right. So is it like an app or is it like a live thing? Like what's describe the experience? What is this? Cause I can barely say my name in 90 seconds. So
it's a YouTube channel. So he basically will record it and then he edits it and posts it in. So he'll usually, I think if I remember right, and it was a while ago, because like I said, it was the first thing I did. I think we talked for like 20, 30 minutes and then he kind of just like edits it down and posts the videos and gives you a chance to kind of just share who are you in 90 seconds based on, these bank of questions. So it's a unique idea. And like I said, his channel's been growing. He recently hit 10K. And so it's been amazing.
I love it. All right. So Ashwin, terrific. So now Ashwin must be over here on LinkedIn as well. So, but he's got mostly a YouTube channel. So I love that kind of dual channel thing, right? We're trying to spread out a little bit, even though Google is not they rolled their DEI back, but no.
Yeah, he's very active on LinkedIn. We've got a group chat that we're in and everything. So he's using both of them. That is how he reached out to me initially, and then growing his business over there on the YouTube channel.
Awesome. Okay, Ashwin. Man, welcome to the Hotness Unleasher community. This is what we're all about. So I had no idea this was even here. I can't wait to check it out. 90 seconds, bam, get to know somebody. Terrific. Okay, so I'm inspired now. I can clamp it down a little bit. I'll try. Okay. Woo. Now next. All right. So Elijah, are we ready for our third Hotness Unleasher of the night from Jesse?
Marco is an unreal connection. Jesse and him hanging out in the devs of co-working space and totally rad. From Marines creating 3D VR worlds, doing some artistry, doing some magic in the digital space, government contracts by the day, running his own game dev studio by night. He's got it all going on. He's a kind guy. He does artistry. He's looking for work. It's all good. Jesse, by the way, is Dave Grohl your cousin? Just had to ask. Tell us more about Marco, would you?
Elijah is magic. I love it. Yeah, so I guess I'll start talking about Marco. I love Marco. Marco is it's so yeah, DevSA. We have a co-working space in downtown San Antonio that was given to us for free. So people were like, "What the heck did he say in that meeting at this geekdom place?" Because we've got a space on the 6th floor in the heart of Houston Street. But yeah, he's one of the volunteers that keeps the doors open here. And it's funny, every time I have some alone time with Marco, I always feel like it's like a therapy session because it's very personal. It's very, but he's to talk Marco. He was in the Marines. I found Marco through LinkedIn, so I guess a nice little LinkedIn story. So how I met Marco, UTSA, one of the universities out here in San Antonio, had reached out and were like, "Hey, we saw that DevSA, one of the tech events we did was on game design, and like we're launching a game design program in the fall of 2025, and we'd love for you to kind of bring that to campus and kind of help us kind of just get some exposure and eyes on the tooling." And I had the event that we did was on the Unity ecosystem. So I was looking because the main ones in that space, I'm not in that space, but the main ones there are like Unity, Godot, and Unreal. So going down LinkedIn, searching for Unreal Engine, San Antonio, came across Marco, slid into his DMs, like, "Hey, I love what you're doing." And what's funny is he's lived in San Antonio for 7 years, had no idea that there was like any like tech stuff going on. He's the actual organizer for the Unreal Engine community out of Dallas. So this guy was driving to Dallas for like talks and events. So when I introduced him to the San Antonio ecosystem, he was just like, "Whoa." And what's funny is like, you have to meet him because just personality, everyone loves him. But I brought him in to give a talk at UTSA. And everybody loved him. And my goal as for the community for the business that I run, it's a nonprofit, but for the community platform that I run, I really just act as a hub just for people to kind of like destination hub, connect to everything that's out there. But so his story, I love talking about the guy. He's currently he works full time. He's a government contractor. He creates 3D virtual environments for training in the military space. Okay. But he's like, the way his work schedule works, he'll be done like before lunch. So it's like, what do I do now? So he's building awesome. 2 games right now, and one of them that he's been sharing is called Fiber. But his girlfriend does crocheting, and what he's doing is he's taking her crochets and rendering them and converting them into the Unreal platform, the engine, and every tree and every asset and everything you see in the game is all handmade by his girlfriend. So when you look at the details, you see like the little fiber threads that are in there. It's amazing. If you do follow Marco, he just released his first ever devlog. It's a 10-minute video, but you'll see all the personality in the first 30 seconds. Marco is amazing.
Awesome, man, you know this guy. I love it. I love that you can just bring him and talk about him all day long. And I love that you have saved like his life from having to travel to Dallas. I saw a video somewhere, YouTube Shorts maybe, about this Fort Worth pile up a couple years ago. That was happening. So he doesn't have to deal with that anymore. He can just stay in San Antonio. I know it's huge. Sorry. But in any case, thank you for bringing Marco into the community, man. I love it. So
Marco Torres!
Marco. Love it. You're welcome. Here, I also want to say welcome to Alex Hurtado, who was here on the show, season 4, episode 1, of course, right? Alex, welcome into the community. Dougie, that's there. He probably we'll wax poetic on that some other day. But thank you for bringing that up, DEI. But in any case, and Hugh, I don't know Hugh Ho, welcome to this show. Apparently you know Heather and Crystal, so awesome. Glad to see you here in the comments. Keep them coming. Heckle us or say something silly, because it's the more irreverence we can get, the better. All right. So Jesse, again, thank you for bringing Marco into our community. All right. So we got a quick segue, 90 seconds or less, right? Let's try. I want to hear what your goals are for yourself for the next, 10 months. And I'm going to go back to Crystal. I'm going to start with Crystal, just going to round robin, and then we'll hit you, Jesse, on the way out. So, Crystal, please enlighten us with what are your goals for the year? What are you working on? What are you excited about?
Well, I've just taken on my first kind of cohort in my consulting, where what I'm doing is almost like a product market fit intensive with them. So my goal and what I'm really looking forward to this year is watching my founders and the startups that I'm working with hit product market fit, really take off, and see good people with good products really succeed. I can't wait. And I feel almost unleashed getting to do my own thing and getting to really run really hard. Whereas when you're in an organization, you have to, I have to keep this under 90 seconds. When you're in an organization, you have to deal with bureaucracy. You have to deal with so much. Whereas when you're outside an organization, you just get to do the fun parts. So I'm really excited to do the fun parts and work with people I love to work with and help them win every day.
So now let me ask a quick question. Are you open to taking on new clients at this time?
Yeah, I want to do almost working in quarters. I think kind of what I promise is I think I can usually get product market fit within 3 to 6 months, or at least give you the tools to get there. So absolutely, we'll continue to take on more clients as I go on.
Okay. All right. So if you're a founder in this community and you're looking for help with product market fit, call Crystal. All right. So thank you for that. I wish you luck on this cohort and getting that up and running. And the vibe is your like energy level just kind of like it's not down, but it's more like sort of this calmness sort of is coming out. Anyway, so
Thank you.
I'm kind of reading that as like a real sort of confident space for you.
Thank you for saying that. I like to say I bring calm to the chaos.
Okay, well, I'm buying it. I totally believe it. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, Heather. So you are up. What are your hopes and dreams for the rest of this year? And if to be specific, like for Just Proof, where do you see that going? What's your hope?
So right now we're working on. We mentioned the mobile app. We got it on Apple. We're waiting for it to get approved for Android, but we're also working on a wizard based on feedback from our users to make it even easier for them to build out their cases and to really start developing it. So it's been amazing getting to talk with our users and really actually implement that and get their feedback. Honestly, the thing I think I'm most looking forward to is getting to work with people over a longer period of time and get to see some of the outcomes of what we're doing now, because we did just start in September. So we've done a lot in a couple of months, and we are figuring out kind of the user journey and making sure we get all those ducks in a row so we can scale. We haven't done any PR or marketing really. And so, one of the things that Crystal has been very helpful with and just kind of sharing her knowledge with me is kind of figuring out like, when are we ready to do that? How are we doing that? And kind of making sure we're watching it, because we're trying not that I'm against going the VC route. There's plenty of reasons to do that, but we're trying not to, because I really want to be able to grow and focus on the users who use the app and not just immediately be indebted to, the people I borrowed money from. And like I said, there's plenty of reasons to do that, plenty of good that can be done, but I just, really am looking forward to being able to help people and kind of grow at a steady pace and do good and feel fulfillment in kind of what I'm doing. It's not just about making money anymore. It's about, leaving the world a little better.
So do you have specific goals about the number of people you'd like to have used your program or your platform between now and the end of the year? Or
oh gosh, I don't even know, because I feel like we already are hitting our goals. Like I joke that Wix, so we have our main not our app, the actual app, but the main website had a ticker that was like 250 users in a month. And I was like obsessed with this number. Yeah. And then we just hit it at the beginning. It just like, once we kind of found our footing a little bit and started growing our users, we just like went from being, I think like 50 users on the website to being at the 250. And then they stopped trafficking. I was hoping there would be like next goals. I love goals and hitting those. So I don't have a set amount. Profitability, I guess is probably, but we don't have too many expenses, but profitability would be nice.
Okay. All right. Right on. All right. So how does one become a customer? What does that look like?
You just sign up. We have a ton of free resources. So even if you don't want to give me any money or don't want to actually be a paying customer, there are a ton of free blog posts. All those resources are on there to help people. And then we have a free trial. Even with that free trial, we give you a free example report if you want to try and do it on your own. Because again, the goal is really just to help people. But if people want to download the app, you sign up, use the free trial, sign up yourself, and
good to go
from there.
Okay, right on. Well, I wish you the best. Okay, thank you for sharing that. All right, so Jesse, Jesse, so you're back. You're back on top. All right. What do you got cooking? What are you hoping for in the rest of 2025?
All right, 90 seconds. Here we go. So I'm very fortunate where the startup that I work for, they're big fans. The founder's a huge fan of DevSA. So I have two goals for 2025. So with the startup that I work for, they do a lot of event production and yada, yada, yada. But I have access now to a videography team. So I have storytellers and I have a social media team. So my goal for this year on the DevSA side, the word we're using is cross-pollination. The company I work for, 434 Media, they're in the biohealth, science, medical, government, military space. They have feet in the ground. And in South Texas, there's a thing called the South Texas Triangle, startups going to the Valley and to Monterrey, Mexico, and kind of tech-focused companies. You got SpaceX out there kind of in Brownsville. So like I have feet in the ground. I'm at the front lines. How did it happen beyond me in that movement, which is considered the future of San Antonio. So we have a strategic roadmap of events from March to October. I haven't told Crystal yet, but I have her on my calendar for a May event. So hopefully she'll say yes and be like, storytelling framework for technical founders. I love to do that. But outside of that, I am launching a new community group called Digital Canvas. I had a 1 hour meeting on Monday that turned into 4 hours because of like creative stuff, but music's a passion. It's going to be focused on tooling and networking, but in the art, tech, and music space, your Adobes, your Figmas, your programming languages that are on the animation side, like your 3JS and your React Fibers and yada, yada, yada. And the music twist. So I'll quit talking.
Love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing all of that. Man, you are busy. You're just on fire. I can't even.
Today was insane. I went to bed yesterday at 3 o'clock. I wake up at 6 to take my daughter for school, so I'm on 3 hours of sleep. But it's been. And there was a quantum engineering event right before this here, so I was by the airport. Left, got here like at 7:45. Quick potty break, and the hotness.
And you're here, and we're doing the hotness, right, man. Here. And you're just literally on fire. Okay. We're gonna go into our second round. Whoops! I hit my. That's a real background, by the way. That's why it's kind of doing the wiggles. I just smacked it with my chair. We're second round of Hotness Unleashers. Okay, Elijah, we're getting there now. We're getting to the end. All right, so second round. Are you ready? Cue us up.
Village. You got to build a community. You got to be an entrepreneur of the year. You got to be top 40 under 20 or whatever these things are. All the pressures. She's a mom times 3. That means she has 3 children. I'm pretty sure. And she helped 2,000 parents spend more time with their family. Isn't that what you want? Lighten your mental load and increase your love for the relationships and memories that you build. I think I'm on the right page, Heather. And you don't have to do it. Do it all. That's nice.
All right, Kelly. So welcome to the community. Heather, tell us more about Kelly.
Kelly's another person I met in May when I started to be more active on social media, and she was just deciding what she was going to do for her future in terms of staying in the corporate world or stepping out and really going full time on this. And so one of the main reasons I wanted to shout her out is because, like, as you can see there, she's been featured in multiple magazines. She's doing amazing things. And I think I really just love how authentic she is and real she is about the fact that, there's so much pressure on mothers to be everything all the time. You're supposed to be the best mom and the best employee and the best this and that. And she normalizes the fact that that's just not long-term possible, and she's just been amazing, and she's had incredible growth, so she inspires me. I haven't actually gotten to connect with her for a few months now, but I've been watching her growth, and so I think she'll be surprised to hear that I shout her out here. But I love seeing it, and especially because I was there early on when she was still deciding, like, am I going to do this full time, like, am I ready for this? And watching her do it and just knock it out of the park has been great. Oh, Trevor, I think you're
on mute.
Classic host fail. Okay, sorry. Kelly, welcome. Welcome to Hotness Unleasher Show community. Heather, thank you for bringing her in. This is great. And I have children. I have 4. So I get it. What it's like to, have a family. They're finally getting a little older now. My oldest is 25. My second is 22, who just graduated with a CS degree, Jesse. So, he's in the weeds of learning to to like figure out what does it mean to become a developer. And I have two girls, one who's almost 21 and one who just turned 17. So I'm like, I get it. I'm in the and it's raising kids hard, right? And so parents need help, dads too. So
yeah, she also talks a lot about just like, how hard it is even for the relationship, just to make time when you're trying to work and have the kids and everything. So I just love that she's doing all these great things, but she's very authentic about the fact that, it's not, everyone needs help, and that's okay.
Okay. Right on. All right on. Well, thank you for bringing Kelly into the Hotness Unleasher Show community. All right. So Kelly, you're welcome here. Hope to see you around soon. All right, Elijah, up for our next Hotness Unleasher of the night.
Jesse's been watching Eliana's journey from some time now because he just realized she's the CEO of Tech Block from a year already. It's amazing. He says to work with her in the tech space and see her along the way, progressing and iterating and just establishing a brand, taking it over in a city with no real identity and turning into something magical.
Yes.
She does ops, she does automation, integration. She acts like no other.
Awesome. All right. Well, Jesse, thanks for bringing Ileana into this community. Ileana, you're welcome here. What do you have to add about her?
Yeah, I'll keep it sweet, but I love Ileana. It's funny how Elijah's like, Jesse's watching Ileana. It's like, whoa. No, she reached out to me. No, I love Ileana. She's so the beauty with Ileana is, out of all the amazing partnerships that I've been able to build locally in the city, she's really the only one that is at the front lines with me. I guess with my background, working retail, working sales, I've always broken things down as lower tier, front lines, getting our hands dirty, getting work done. And she's in our Discord server, like a Discord server. She's the CEO of a much bigger company in the city, and she's like responding to messages in our Discord. But I love her story. Just a female in tech, a female in the startup space, a female that took over a brand. So Tech Block, when you look at the history of tech in San Antonio, it's still very new. We're not an established tech hub. You got your Austins, your Dallas, and everything else that's out there. And Tech Block was one of the big origin stories in the city of San Antonio when it comes to history. And it's been around for over 10 years. She took over it as the CEO. It's been 1 year now, since November, but she took over it in a state where it didn't really have an identity. I mean, there's been other groups that kind of grew in the city, Geekdom, that kind of took the reins as far as getting funding from the city and just having bigger pockets and being able to kind of take the space of like a startup networking hub. So she kind of had the challenge of taking an established group that has a deep history, had no momentum, had no identity, and kind of created her own little journey and story to give the brand an identity. And I love that she's at the front lines with me in San Antonio. She's part of the whole South Texas Triangle movement. And I'm just happy to have a partner like her who understands our origin, our needs, and is helping us really just move forward. Devastate wouldn't be what it is today without Ileana. She was really the big motivator and giving me confidence to, because I'm an unknown. I don't have a college degree. I'm born and raised in San Antonio, went to 5 different elementary schools, but that's just because we were poor, not a military family. So like she was able to kind of just give that confidence, give the give us that green light to move forward. So Ileana, amazing person, love her.
Love it. All right, Ileana, welcome to the Hotness Unleasher Show community, man. This is terrific. I should have named the theme of this show tonight the San Antonio theme, because we're doing this thing, right?
Going back to LinkedIn, it was a LinkedIn direct message, though, so I guess that's the full story. It was a DM on LinkedIn. So.
All right, I love it. All right, so and I no disrespect to San Antonio, I think by population it's like in the top 10 in the country.
That's what's so exciting about what's happening right now. There's a lot of cool stuff happening right now. And now that I know that Crystal's like doing some consulting work, I'm like, I can play a little hand as far as connections.
Okay.
I love it.
All right. Well, speaking of Crystal, her Hotness Unleasher is the last one of the night. So Elijah, can you cue us up?
I'd love to. Can you talk for 30 seconds?
Can I talk for 30 seconds? Of course I can talk for 30 seconds. All right.
I can talk about San Antonio for 30 seconds if you
all
need
right,
me
let's
to.
hear more about San Antonio, Crystal.
Well, that
Lay it on
might
us.
have been an over-promise, but I will say I'm very excited Jesse's here. And in general, we have a lot of pride in our city. And I think we are poised to be the next cybersecurity capital. We already kind of are. We're Military City, USA. But you have a giant cybersecurity community looking for true talent and looking for innovation and looking for people with the skill sets in cybersecurity. And we have that here in our city. And we have a ton of people who are very diverse and solve problems in very unique and creative ways. So I'm so excited that Ileana and Jesse are doing this. Thanks for letting us take over with the San Antonio Spotlight.
That's terrific. I love to hear that, like this sort of, I don't want to say just rebirth or even birth, but just how these things happen, how they come together, and how you can get a critical mass of people involved in a given industry, and things really can really take off. So that's super exciting. I can tell my San Antonio mocha story now, right? Because
it was so good.
Yeah. All right. So I have a certain font now for the benefit of the audience, because the three of you think, and Elijah, you've all heard this already. So it was about 2004. I go to this. I'm working for MetLife. I'm an insurance agent, and I go to San Antonio for some kind of training. I don't even remember what it was. So I go there, and I'm with a buddy, and we decide we're going to go out and get coffee. And this is 20 years ago, right? So this is sort of pre or early stage, like before Starbucks had really exploded. So there was no Starbucks in San Antonio at this time. Not happening. But they kind of knew what espresso was, and they had an idea about what a mocha was kind of supposed to be. So my buddy, he's just like, okay, I want a mocha. Oh, what size, sir? I want a large mocha. So this is not just a large mocha, it's a Texas size mocha. And this thing, I swear, is a gallon. All right, it's a gallon of milk with a little dusting of coffee. a little bit of chocolate, and he's supposed to drink this thing, and we're walking down, the San Antonio River Walk, right? You got that, and that's real. I've been there. We're doing checking it all out. He's trying to drink this mocha, and trying to get it down. I'm asking him, hey man, how's that mocha? And he says it's not good, but he felt compelled, like he had to finish the thing. So that's my San Antonio story. I get a chance to tell it every once in a while. So thank you too for being from San Antonio and allowing me to relish the moment of that memory, not just once, but twice tonight. So
next time you're in San Antonio, we're going to have to host you and take you around.
Yeah. I'm going to have to mocha it up. All right, Elijah, are we
got it. All the joys of being live.
All right. I love it. Okay.
Meryl, she's into everything and anything, and may I predict that she will be number one in the things that she is. Cybersecurity Women Hacker of the Year. That's awesome. She sells the best-selling books, okay? Only the best-selling ones that she sells, just so you know. She likes the FANGs. She's in corporate tech. She does the DevSecOps, threat models, incident responses, and all that fun magic, and she leads purple teams. You'll have to find out what those are by connecting with her. But the big one here is Cyber Queens podcast. Why is it big? Because Sans gave her an award for this podcast. Sans, if you've lived under rock for eternity, they're like the mecca of all cybersecurity companies. Okay? Just saying. So she's done things. She's advocating for everyone, and she heads the outreach of Teach Kids Tech. Nonprofit, leading, doing all the things, plus all of the stuff that she does on the offensive and the defensive every single day.
Wow. That was quite an intro. Awesome. Thank you, Elijah. Okay.
A lot of stuff to talk about. It's pretty rad.
Like, how do you even expand on that? So, Crystal, what do you got for Meryl?
It's hard. I mean, it's honestly even hard just to put into words how cool she is. And I think that's why she has so many followers. I've been following her probably for years now. And she's always just been this very kind of a leader as far as women hackers go, one of the kind of leading voices. She's a purple teamer, I think, who started as a social engineer and then transitioned into pen testing and just kind of the larger leadership role she's in. So she's just generally all around super cool hacker, incredible cybersecurity person. And then in addition, of course, again, Bronwyn introduced me to her. So I got to meet her when I was at Wild West Hack and Fest in Denver last week. And she is even cooler in person, I have to say, than she is online. And just, I'm trying not to cuss, but
Go ahead. It's
overall badass in general. And she was also incredible about taking the time to meet with me and really pointing me to resources as someone who is, while I'm a marketer and I would say I'm exceptional at what I do and I'm experienced in it, my side passion is social engineering and being a hacker and getting really into cybersecurity. So people like her who kind of invite you in and mentor and guide you are so invaluable. Lastly, she's an advocate for LGBTQ women in the workplace. And I think that is impressive and unique and not enough of them. So I'd love to highlight her.
And we need all the advocates we can get. Right. So advocate away. I love it. So thank you for bringing Meryl into the Hotness Unleasher Show community, Crystal. I'm thrilled that we made it through. It's 7:00. All right. We're my time at least. All right. So we made it. All right. So you guys did great. Thank you for announcing all of our Hotness Unleashers tonight. Jesse, Heather, Crystal, Elijah, thank you for your production assistance and overall wizardry tonight, handling all the comments. I want to say thank you to everybody who came out here tonight. Golly, we had a good crowd. So we had Meg, we had Alex, we had Hugh, we had Lauren Sermon was in here earlier. We had Stephen Ing, and we had Lisa Favec and Dean LeBay, Melanie Richards. So you guys have co-created this, okay? We have done this together. We came together for an hour on a Wednesday night and made something cool, right? We called out. We were thankful to people who are giving into this world, not taking away, not trying to wreck it, trying to make it better. And I want more of that. And I want to say, that it means so much to me that you guys would come out and spend an hour with me and with Elijah and with this audience particularly. So I love it. So thank you so much. We're taking a break next week. No show next week. I'll be in Florida at my corporate event. So we'll be off. And so with that, we will see you back here on the March the 12th with Alex Boyd and his crew. So looking forward to that. And again, thank you so much. And best to San Antonio. May your mochas be amazing. All right. With that, good night, everybody.
I hate goodbyes. Thank you.
I'll see you soon. I'll miss you, Jesse.
The more cringe, the better. All right. Let's connect together and
we feel all right.
I'm so excited.
Tingly.
I'm
all over.
I'm tingly.
Tingly.
I'm tingly. It's Hotness Unleasher.